What do great managers actually do all day? It is a valid question, and one that at the very beginning of my leadership journey, I actually had no idea. But over the years, I've worked alongside some of the best business builders, managers, CEOs, even the guy who built Microsoft Excel. And I started learning, practicing, putting the things that they were doing into my own work. Also just really understanding exactly what they were doing all day that made them so successful. Now I've got a list of 5 things and I'm going to go through all of them. So firstly is spending time with their team one-on-one. Now so many managers actually cancel the one-on-ones, they don't prioritize them, they don't have a structure in place. And exactly how much time depends on the size of your team. I've actually got a full PDF called the Know Your Team Playbook that outlines my exact one-on-one structure that you can steal if you need to. But the greatest leaders prioritize spending time with their team one-on-one, holding them accountable to their goals, helping them develop, and never ever cancelling them. Next is delegating, but properly. As managers, we tend to spend so much time being given work from other people, whether it's our seniors, clients, other people in the business, and we so often think it'll just be quicker if I did it myself, or the standard will be higher if I did it myself. But trust me, that is not what the greatest leaders are doing. Done properly, delegation can actually empower your team, give them opportunities to grow, and free you up to work on the most valuable things in the meantime. I have a whole process on how to delegate properly, but the one thing I'll tell you here that will change everything is start with the purpose. So when you delegate, instead of just saying, can you get this done by Friday, explain why first. Why is this task important? Connect it to the bigger picture. It gives people autonomy and allows them to bring a little bit of passion and empowerment into their work. Next is a big one, is working on systems. Being a system-focused manager is what sets you head and shoulders above the rest. It means moving away from the technical day-to-day working in the team tasks to improve the back-end running of the show. Some of the most important systems that I would regularly encourage you to be working on are your people systems, so the one-on-ones that we just spoke about, your accountability system, so that's like your KPI meeting rhythms, how we hold people accountable, who's accountable for what KPIs, roles and responsibilities across the team, ensuring that everyone is working to their strengths at all times. Values, so if you have core values, make sure you're actually using them and spotlighting them in your team. It's a really great way to ensure that everyone's behavior is in line with what you and the company expect, and that your best performers get rewarded. There are just a few. You will have very different systems depending on what industry you're in, so you might have CRMs, finance systems, marketing systems, budgets. The other things behind the scenes where you step away from the day-to-day, work on the bigger picture. The greatest leaders carve out time to work on those things. Fourth is one that we all love to avoid, which is personal development. Investing time and money in the development of both you and your team is crucial if you want long-term sustainable success and you want to be up there with the greatest. But the problem is, I know personal development is always one of those things that gets moved around. It's never quite urgent enough for us to do it. It's your job to put an end to that, and it starts with the manager. Your team do as you do, they do not do as you say. So if you are not prioritizing personal development, they won't either. I would encourage starting with some really small things, so just like have a Slack channel or a Teams channel that's dedicated to maybe growth, where you can share podcasts and encourage each other to learn, up to the bigger things, which might be like taking a day out of teamwork and going somewhere like a conference or a talk to level everyone up together, and track and reward personal development too. Whether it's a spreadsheet, you need to make sure you're holding your team accountable to actually doing it after you start doing it yourself. And then very lastly is the one where actually most of us spend most of our time anyway, which is reactive work. Now reactive work is when we like to say we're putting out fires or we're just fighting urgencies that come up. But the greatest managers do something very differently in that they create space for this. Whether that's having a 2-hour block on a Tuesday morning or just making sure that in general your days aren't back to back, so you have a good amount of space to jump into the urgent and reactive things when you actually need to. The reality of most managers is the opposite of that. They're constantly rushing, constantly busy, and they leave no space and no buffer to actually deal with and be reactive well. So make sure you are forcing out time to be reactive when you need to be, and then delegate accordingly. Okay, I really want to know in the comments, which one are you the best at and which one do you need to work on the most this week? Let's all learn together. And there's something amazing in the description notes, guys. It's a quiz that we have built. It's entirely free, and you just answer 18 questions and it will tell you exactly where you have blind spots, gaps, strengths and weaknesses in your leadership role. It will really help you to level up. You're going to get a personalized report sent straight through to you with some practical tips and advice on how you can really level up in your management role. So go click the link below and take that one for free today.